With the recent events in the latest chapter, I think we should talk about what happens next for My Hero Academia as a franchise. The My Hero one-shot, which would eventually evolve into My Hero Academia, came out in 2008, the same year Iron Man's theatrical outing started the MCU. The My Hero Academia manga that we're all familiar with came out in 2014, a month before Guardians of the Galaxy came out in August. It was the golden age of the MCU as we kept pushing forward. It almost feels poetic that My Hero Academia's main story is ending as the dominance of the MCU wanes. Which raises the question, what comes next for this franchise? I don't think the manga is going to continue, mainly because Horikoshi doesn't want to keep writing it, and it's also hard from a storytelling standpoint to go from, we punched out the Demon Lord, and then go, yay, normal school stuff. That's why I think we're going to get a definitive ending and epilogue. I'm sure Horikoshi is also aware of what happens when you don't give a story a strong, definitive ending. Ahem, Spider-Man, the Clone Saga? Man, I cannot tell you how bad that story was. But anyways, where does this leave us? What should My Hero Academia do after this as a franchise? Not just under Horikoshi's pen, but maybe someone else under his authorization. I'm sure we could do more spin-off material. Spin-off material is not made by Horikoshi, but there are a few places where this franchise could easily go and still be interesting, and not just mere side stories. There are 8 generations of Quirks that we know of, 9 if you count the one before All for One because of his mother having the Quirk spear-like bones. A generation is around 30 years, so 9 times 30 years is around 270 years of unexplored history. Not only could you show the rise and reign of All for One, but also you could give the Vestiges some personality, since one of the biggest criticisms of them is that they're really lacking in the personality department besides All Might, Nana, and Yoichi. I do think a story of the dawn of Quirks would be interesting, just to see how Kudo and Bruce, 2 of One For All's users, who I find pretty interesting because they lived at the dawn of Quirks, to be our focus characters. The story doesn't even need to give a definitive explanation as to what on earth Quirks really are. Just, hey, Quirks show up, Quirks lead to society to break down since chaos arose from them and criminals turned into warlords with governments ineffective to corral any of them. Hell, maybe Kudo and Bruce were part of an organization of hired Quirked mercenaries, since clearly if you want to take down superhumans, you'll need some superhumans to take them down. It certainly would fit the Star Wars theme of late. Ahem, Mandalorian. Seeing a superhuman hell on Earth would at least be fun and help distinguish them from the X-Men, while still pulling on them for some inspiration, like Age of Apocalypse. But as darkness rises, light will meet it. Let's have a prequel with All Might. Why do I want this? Because I really want to see All Might smash All For One's face in during their first major encounter that cost All Might his lungs and stomach. I also want to know who the hell All For One's comrades were in crime because he mentioned them during his duel with All Might before he just had to settle with Shigaraki. And, well, Garaki. Give us some more iconic villains for this franchise. Speaking of villains, let's also try a spy thriller. A Quirk spy thriller would be nice. Think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where the workers for the Hero Commission try to establish order, and we have a ton of cloak and dagger politics to deal with. And, when in doubt, we could always go with the weird, wacky what-if tales. What if good was bad and bad was good? What if Deku met a different hero on the street, because I know that concept is popular with this fandom? What if All For One had defeated All Might at Kamino? What if Deku was in Class 1B instead of Class 1A? This would at least be a nice excuse to give us that fantasy AU that's probably just an in-universe D&D game. What if Aoyama wasn't the traitor? There's a lot of what-if scenarios that we could deal with in this franchise. Just please, don't do anything stupid like smash the multiverse. No, I don't mean that Smash the Multiverse. I mean the other Smash the Multiverse. The one where Superboy Prime punches reality itself and causes a bunch of retcons because we needed to retcon stuff. That will never not be funny for whatever reason. Those are just my thoughts. Please consider liking, subscribing, tipping the channel on Ko-fi. This is Cyril signing off.